He was an ordinary man with an ordinary routine. Every morning, like clockwork, James Parker would wake up early, prepare breakfast, and get his daughter, Emily, ready for school. It was a ritual they both cherished, a moment of calm before the day's chaos. On that fateful morning, James kissed Emily goodbye at the school gate, watching her disappear into the crowd of children. It was the last time anyone saw him. James had planned to drive to a nearby town for a business meeting, a trip he had made countless times before. But somewhere along the highway, he vanished without a trace. His car was found abandoned on the shoulder, keys still in the ignition, but James was nowhere to be found. No witnesses, no signs of struggle, no explanation. The disappearance sent shockwaves through the community. Friends and family were left grappling with the impossible question: what happened to James Parker? The police launched an immediate investigation, combing the highway and surrounding areas for clues. But the trail quickly went cold. Detective Sarah Collins was assigned to the case. Known for her meticulous approach and unwavering dedication, she vowed to uncover the truth behind James's disappearance. As she delved into his life, she discovered a man who was loved by many, with no apparent enemies or reasons to disappear. Yet, the deeper she dug, the more questions arose. Surveillance footage from the highway showed James's car driving steadily until it suddenly stopped. Moments later, a figure matching James's description was seen walking away from the vehicle, heading into the dense woods nearby. But what happened after that was a mystery. The investigation revealed that James had been under unusual stress in the weeks leading up to his disappearance. Work pressures, financial worries, and a recent argument with a close friend painted a picture of a man struggling beneath. He surfaced, but nothing suggested he would vanish willingly. Family members described James as a devoted father and a reliable friend. Emily, his daughter, was the center of his world. The thought of him leaving her without explanation was unthinkable. Yet, the silence that followed his disappearance was deafening. As days turned into weeks, the search expanded. Volunteers joined the police, scouring the woods and highways, hoping to find any sign of James. Flyers were distributed, and the story made headlines, capturing the attention of true crime enthusiasts and concerned citizens alike. Theories began to circulate. Some believed James had staged his disappearance to escape his troubles. Others feared foul play, an accident, a kidnapping, or something more sinister. Detective Collins remained cautious, focusing on facts rather than speculation. One breakthrough came when a hiker reported finding a personal item belonging to James, a watch, near a remote trail off the highway. The location was difficult to access, surrounded by thick forest and rocky terrain. It suggested that James had ventured far from the road. But why? The discovery reignited hope and urgency. Search teams concentrated their efforts around the area, using drones and tracking dogs. Yet, no further evidence was found. The forest seemed to swallow every clue, leaving only questions in its wake. Detective Collins interviewed those closest to James, piecing together his last known movements. She learned about a mysterious phone call he had received the night before his disappearance, a call that left him visibly shaken. The caller's identity remained unknown. The detective also uncovered a series of cryptic messages on James's phone, texts that hinted at a secret he was desperate to keep hidden. Was James involved in something dangerous? Or was he trying to protect someone? As the investigation unfolded, the community rallied around Emily, offering support and comfort. Her resilience in the face of uncertainty inspired many. but the pain of not knowing where her father was remained a heavy burden. The case of James Parker's disappearance became a haunting reminder of how quickly life can change. A simple morning routine shattered by an inexplicable vanishing, leaving behind a family desperate for answers and a town gripped by fear. Detective Collins vowed to continue the search, driven by the hope that one day James would be found, and the mystery of that highway morning would finally be solved. He was taken to the hospital immediately, where doctors worked to stabilize him. His body was weak from exposure and stress, but his mind was sharp, filled with memories that would soon unravel the mystery of his disappearance. Detective Collins sat by his bedside, ready to listen to the story he had been too afraid to tell. James spoke of being followed for weeks before that morning. Shadowy figures in unmarked vehicles, strange phone calls warning him to stay silent, and a growing sense of danger that forced him to flee. He had planned to disappear temporarily, to protect his daughter and family from an unknown threat. The black SUV was part of a larger operation, he explained, a criminal network involved in extortion and intimidation. James had stumbled upon their activities through his work, and when he tried to expose them, they targeted him. His disappearance was a desperate attempt to buy time and keep his family safe. Detective Collins immediately coordinated with federal agencies to dismantle the network. Surveillance intensified, and arrests followed. The community breathed a collective sigh of relief as the threat was neutralized. Emily and Claire began the slow process of healing, supported by counselors and the unwavering love of their community. The family's ordeal became a story of survival and resilience, inspiring many who faced their own battles. The highway, once a place of fear and mystery, slowly returned to normal. But the memory of that morning, the vanished father, the abandoned car, the silent house, remained etched in the town's history. Detective Collins continued her work, knowing that behind every disappearance is a story waiting to be told, a family waiting for answers, and a truth waiting to be uncovered. The case of James Parker was closed, but the lessons it taught about courage, hope, and the power of community would never be forgotten.